My name is Scott Crawford, and I'm the Director of Educational Programming for the Taubman Museum of Art. And what I'd like to discuss with you today is just a little bit about a scaffolding interpretive matrix that we've designed at the museum that's somewhat unique. It's entitled Read Low, and that's an acronym for the 6 verbs associated with the interpretive process as we've defined it at the Taubman Museum of Art. We use Read Low in order to engage our audiences, primarily school groups all the way up through adult groups, to allow them to engage the art and to start to find meaning in the art. Now, the way it works is simply we begin with the first step, which is react. And with the react phase, all we do is simply allow the patron or the learner, the group with which we're working with, to actually react to the work of art by sharing with us their thoughts about the emotional tone of the work, the mood of the work, how the work basically makes them feel, even whether they like the work of art or not. I'd like to just begin by basically having you take a look at the painting. You also have a digital image, and giving me your initial reaction to the work. How does the work make you feel? What kind of emotions does it? Humorous, okay. So you feel definitely detect a little. Kind of almost makes you chuckle a little. Okay. Other thoughts?
I love the focus of the other paintings on the worker.
Okay. You're really intrigued or interested in the way that the paintings are looking at this particular work. Now, the second step in the Read Low process involves looking at the work's composition. We call this step embrace because the viewer is going to actually embrace the work from a compositional perspective. Now in this stage, we have the viewer start to describe the use of color, the use of light and shade, any type of compositional patterns that become evident, anything in the art at all that's related to the work's composition. They start to articulate exactly how their eyes move across the canvas or how their eyes are drawn to certain areas in the work of art itself. Eyes drawn in the painting? How do your eyes move across the canvas? Why are your eyes moving that way?
Talking about the way he's moving across the picture, it kind of mimics the statue on the pedestal.
Ah, yeah.
The picture's titled Framed, and that's what everybody's focusing on, but what is her purpose on the side?
Excellent. Yeah, that's a very good point. Compositionally, his stance mimics her stance. Or she mimics him. And so now the viewers have embraced the work from a compositional perspective. The next step, the third step in the Read Low process, is titled Explore. Here the viewer begins to simply make a list of what it is he or she sees in the work of art. They begin to simply share with us, the museum educators, every item, every object they can find within the work of art. Now, if the work is an abstract expressionist piece, possibly they will explore more the use of color. Maybe they'll start talking more about shapes and the use of lines or the absence of lines. They'll simply identify what it is they see. Let's now talk about what are all of the objects and items that you see. And let's just make an inventory of all the objects. Pedestal. The pedestal holding sculpture. Anything about the pedestal?
Yeah.
Has an inscription. Has an inscription. Okay, keep that in mind. All right, what else?
Well, he has a towel on his shoulder.
Towel. Once this list has been established, once the viewer has reacted emotionally to the work, embraced the work from a compositional perspective, explored the work in order to look at what it is they're seeing, they now begin to decipher the work, which is the fourth step in the Read Low process. And what this means is they start to look at possible symbolism within the work, looking at color, looking at objects, looking at items. The viewer begins to articulate and explain possible deeper meanings within those items, and then we begin to have a discussion about that as a group. Let's talk about symbolism. Of all the objects that you just listed, What are possible deeper meanings, symbolic meanings tied to those items? His clothing. What's his clothing? Tell us about it.
Well, it's just a workman. It's clothing that somebody would wear when they are hanging up paintings. He's obviously a worker in the museum. And so they're not quite, it's not a suit. It's clothing a little bit dirty, almost
Okay.
in the pants, so it indicates the workman
All right.
that is doing labor.
Yes.
Not only is it clothing to me, it's a uniform because it has a tie too. It's like a worker's tie though. It's you're at your job and you look nice, but it's practical because you might get a little dirty. So I think to me that it's a uniform.
Once they've deciphered the work, this is where Read Low turns into truly an interdisciplinary learning experience. This is where the museum educator, the one who is from the staff working with the group, actually produces documents, possibly, that relate to the work. Maybe they share other works of art that would relate to this work in some way. They explore the art historical movement with which the work is associated. If we're exploring mathematics themes, we may give the viewers rulers and protractors, and they can start to explore the work mathematically in regard to composition. But this is where we take the work and we place it in a larger context. No longer are we simply looking at the work in and of itself. We're trying to explore the various contexts that surround the work. Maybe socio-historic, mathematical, scientific, whatever it is that the work relates to, that's the direction we take the viewers. And we do so by giving the viewers manipulatives. What I want to do now is let you take a moment and look at a small packet I have for you that we're going to dissect the possible meaning of this painting based on these symbols that we've discussed and see what is it that Rockwell is confronting in this.
America became a superpower, the soldiers were coming home,
Okay.
and with the British general looking sort of snide, he realizes the British Empire's powers are maybe behind them.
All right, that's an interesting connection. Now we've gone from an emotional reaction to an exploration of composition, to a listing of items, to looking at symbolism, finally setting it in a larger context. At this point, the viewer is ready to offer an opinion or opine about the work as to what the work means. And that's the final stage in the Read Low process. Here the viewer takes everything he or she has gathered at this point and in essence simply offers a critique of the work and puts forth the opinion as to what the work is possibly meaning. Now, with the discussion, we'll naturally find that several people will find different meaning in the work, and that's fine, so long as they back their opinion with specific evidence. Everything stated must be supported with evidence. Say it now in American rhetoric. All men are created equal. That's what he's saying here. He's got a working man. How is he their equal? How does he make him their equal? And this goes to your early on question. He's framed. He now is their equal because he's in a portrait, just as they are. And that wraps up the Read Low methodology, which is a key part of the ACT method that we've developed at the museum, the art and critical thinking method. This is how we take art and we explore vast numbers of themes and topics. It's an interdisciplinary learning experience. It's an engaging learning experience. It's one that helps learners develop those higher level thinking skills as they learn how to interpret a work of art.